Hello people of the internet, today we are here to ask the question, Mesa.
Yeah. What is it good for?
Indeed, what is the Warframe Mesa good for? To answer this we will take a look at its abilities inside the simulacrum before taking it out into the live environment to show it in action. And then, finally, we will look into how to acquire Mesa for yourself if you do not already have it, or its prime counterpart. The first thing to note about Mesa is the regulators that you get as an additional weapon in your arsenal. This is a dual-wielded sidearm weapon which can be modded separately from your normal sidearm these days. Initially these did the same damage that your sidearm would do, but now you can mod them separately, which is great. I have gone all out damage for this overview. These are very powerful anyway, so feel free to mess around with the setup, but for this video I went pure damage output. The second thing to note is Mesa's passive. This grants a 15% additional fire rate for dual-wielded sidearms, 25% faster reload for one-handed sidearms, and a plus 50 health when no melee weapon is equipped. This can make leveling sidearms much more fun. Onto Mesa's main abilities, we start with Ballistic Battery. When activated, this power stores damage caused by guns. When triggered again, that damage is channeled through the next gunshot. For this example I am using my Tomb Finger sidearm which I crafted in Fortuna. You will see that each time I defeat an enemy here I get a buff added to the ability in the lower right hand corner of the screen. Currently I am doing around 11,000 damage as standard with this gun in a single shot. When I deactivate the ability you will see that I get a damage buff of 940 now displayed at the top right of the screen. Now my next shot is increased from around 11,000 to 38,000. I have seen higher at almost 4 times the standard amount of damage, which is a good buff to have, especially if you know a tougher enemy or boss is coming up soon. Mesa's second ability is Shooting Gallery. Gives an ally extra damage while jamming the guns of nearby enemies. This power shifts between team members. As I am solo in the simulacrum, I cannot show this buff swapping between the teammates, but as you can see, when it is activated, a number of the enemies will stop firing at me and start to try and fix their jammed guns. Mesa also has a blue swirling buff going around it, which signals the damage increase is active. Mesa's third ability is Shatter Shield. Envelops Mesa in a barrier of energy, reflecting back incoming bullet damage. This ability can reduce up to 80% of the incoming damage and reflect it back at the enemy. For these heavily armoured gunners this equates to roughly 5 damage per shot, which does not really do much damage to them, but the damage reduction to Mesa is greatly appreciated by me. Mesa's fourth ability is Peacemaker. With intense focus, Mesa draws her regulator pistols, shooting down her foes in rapid succession. Many players will often call a frame's fourth ability its ultimate ability. A lot of the time I don't really feel that they are ultimate abilities, except in the case of Mesa here. For this test I increased the enemy level from 30, which we have been dealing with so far, to 120. The reason, as you will see, is that once the Peacemaker ability is warmed up and at full pelt, it absolutely shreds enemies even at this level. If I go back and show you what happened at level 30, you will see that the enemies are all dead before the ability even gets into its stride. Definitely an ultimate ability. Now that we have seen what Mesa can do in a simulated environment, why don't we take it into the live environment for a run around. Mesa is particularly good at helping you farm materials out in the open areas such as these toroids here in Orb Vallis on Venus. Mesa's bullet reflecting ability help keep you alive, and if some bigger enemies come along such as this jackal, you can simply switch to the ultimate ability and dispatch of it in seconds. So now that we have seen Mesa in action, you may be wondering how to get your hands on this frame. Mesa comes from the Alad-V fight close to Eris. Unfortunately though, you cannot do this as soon as you unlock Eris. First you need to get an Alad-V nav coordinate from the invasion missions. So simply head on over to Invasions and look for an infested mission that rewards the Alad-V nav coordinate. Complete that mission 3 times and then wait for the reward. Once you have the reward, you can use it to craft the Alad-V assassination key, which you will gain when you complete the quest Patient Zero, and then you can head on in and fight Alad-V. This fight can be tricky early on, especially in a group, but by the time you get to doing this you should be well equipped and be able to deal with this fairly easily. If you take a tanky frame like Rhino, you can keep up its iron skin and it becomes a breeze. Alad-V has a collar around his neck that prevents all damage to him. When in a group he will throw the collar at a teammate, incapacitating them. When he does this he becomes vulnerable himself to attack, so you can burn him down until he retrieves his collar to take a moment to recover. Solo though, as Rhino, he just throws the collar which does nothing as you have iron skin on, and therefore you just end up with a small window of opportunity to inflict as much damage as possible each time he throws it. Rinse and repeat until he is dead, and then head on over to extraction to get your first Mesa part. In this case I got the chassis blueprint. Continue to repeat this process until you also have the neuroptics and systems collected and crafted, and then head on over to the marketplace to purchase the main blueprint and craft this warframe. So there you have it, we have taken a look at Mesa and what it is good for. If you would like to see a video like this for any other warframe I have not yet covered, then let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next time.
If you like this video, please consider watching another. 2 suggestions will be on screen now. Also, if you have not subscribed already, please do so by clicking the icon in the middle of this screen. Every view and subscription will go a long way to helping the channel grow, and in turn will result in more content for you. Thank you, and until the next time, goodbye.